Hey everybody, so today I wanted to go over the nominations for Game of the Year as well share with you my thoughts on what my personal pick is. So for the nominations, we have Astrobot. I think that's rightfully deserved. I think the game, when it came out, was definitely well received by everybody, whether it was journalists, game critics, as well as people that actually played the game. Volatero, this one I heard about. I believe it's supposed to be like a roguelike card game. It seemed interesting to me. I was very surprised, and it seems like a lot of people were surprised and upset the fact that a card game would be up here for a nomination. Then we have Black Myth Wukong, which to me, I'm not surprised by in the slightest that is up there. Now for Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree, I think a lot of people I've seen on Twitter are upset by the fact that a DLC is up for Game of the Year nomination. How do you guys feel about it? Look, the last few years we have been absolutely spoiled with the amount of games that have dropped, and if my wallet hasn't recovered, yours probably haven't either. So who doesn't love saving money on games? Instant Gaming got you covered with their great discounts and a wide selections of games to choose from. From Space Marine 2, Dragon Ball Sparkling Zero, Metaphor ReFantazio, to Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Life is Strange Double Exposure, and even upcoming releases to choose from. There's plenty of selection here. Whether it's game, PlayStation Plus, or Game Pass subscriptions you can buy, all of it is safely backed up by Trustpilot review scores from customers and with their 24/7 customer support to help you with any issues you may experience. Best of all, not only are you saving money, but the games are straight from the source. Instant Gaming will have you covered. So if you want to save money on video games and of course support the channel as well, use my affiliate link on screen or click the link below in the pinned comment. Want to enter the giveaway? All you have to do is click on the link in the description or the pinned comment below, create an account if you don't have one, and click participate and you're in. Big thanks to Instant Gaming for sponsoring this video. Now back to it. I think for me, there's definitely going to be some bias there just because I am a fan of From Software games. Anybody that knows me knows that I love my Souls games, but I understand why people feel like it shouldn't be there. I think in terms of when you look at the amount of content and everything, I feel like Shadow of the Erdtree, it could stand alone on its own as a game. Although you do need to meet some prerequisites in order to access the DLC area. But that's nothing new for FromSoft DLC. It's a lot more convoluted, and this one is a lot simpler compared to some of the other DLCs. I do think though, I personally feel like there should be a separate category for it, but at the same time, if you were to actually look at what was in Shadow of the Erdtree, I understand. I guess like I'm kind of torn because I do see both sides of things. I see the side where people feel like, oh, it should have its own category, right? But I also understand why it is up there for Game of the Year just because of how expansive it is. Had it been something else, maybe not. Although I would say, like, you know, look at Phantom Liberty. It was a great expansion to Cyberpunk, and for them to kind of turn things around considering the launch for Cyberpunk 2077 for what it is now, it's crazy. I think that the DLC and everything there was really well written, but you know, that's besides the point. My other point for it being up there for nomination is look at some of the other games that have come out this year that were, you know, AAA, full price $70 plus games. People buy it and then turns out it's unoptimized, it's not finished at all, you have an incomplete product, it's underbaked. So it's like for $40 for you to get what you got with Shadow of the Erdtree was certainly better than some of these other games that people have spent their hard-earned money on and then regretted. Obviously, the other one is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and then we have Metaphor ReFantazio. not what I think. What I think is going to end up winning, just because of online reception from what I've seen and talking to people about it. I think Metaphor might be the game to take Game of the Year. But as far as what my personal choice is and what I would want to see win, well, it's not up here. It's not up for nominations. I feel like this may be an unpopular opinion, but I would say Stellar Blade should have been up there instead of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth or Balatero. In my personal opinion, I feel like Final Fantasy VII is one of the most overrated Final Fantasies out there, but what does my opinion matter? For me, I'm kind of bummed out to see that Stellar Blade wasn't up there for nominations. I think that it deserves a spot just because, the soundtrack was amazing. If you guys watched my review, then this is nothing new to you in regards to how I feel about the game. The gameplay was great. It was very well polished for what it was. Now for like the platforming and stuff in the game, it wasn't the greatest, especially at launch. I don't know what it's like now because I know that they have patched the game several times now. I think from what I remember, it was a bit better. They may have ironed all the issues out there at this point if you were to start playing it for the first time. So I'm very curious. I'm going to be playing the Nier Automata DLC to get those outfits and everything come Tuesday. So if you guys want to follow me on Twitch, you'll find me live streaming there. When you think about it, with Shift Up, Stellar Blade was their first entry into the console market, right? Same thing with Black Myth Wukong. They're like a new developer and everything too. And I would say when you compare those two games, I felt like Stellar Blade was the more polished package out of the two games. Like, I really enjoyed my time with Black Myth Wukong, don't get me wrong, but I don't think it's a bad game by any means, but I definitely have my issues with it. World design, the game looks great. It ran perfectly fine for me. There was some frame drops, but not as much as it seems like a lot of other people were experiencing in regards to that. So thankfully that didn't affect my enjoyment of the game. Now, as far as actual gameplay and mechanics and stuff that I was bothered by, I didn't like the fact that, especially as you progress later into the chapters of the game, the world opens up so much more. Even though it's still somewhat linear in a sense, there's big open sections, there's plenty of secrets for you to like find and explore, to where I felt like if they implemented some sort of a map, that would have been really useful. Another thing I didn't really particularly like is because the fact that the game didn't have a map, you didn't know where the zones were that was out of bounds. Like, you couldn't. The way I play my game is I like to explore every nook and cranny there possibly is, and it just sucks where it looks like there's a place that you can go to, and it's not until like you approach it and you realize, oh, I can't go there, or I can't jump off this ledge, or I can't climb it, or whatever it is. So that's was some of my problems with the game. I felt like too, I think chapter 6 is the last chapter of the game, so spoiler alert here if you haven't played it. I'm fixing to get into it. That was another part of the game where it was like super open. You could go around freely as you please on the Flying Nimbus, and that would have been great when you did New Game Plus, if you were to able to like hop on the cloud and just fly around everywhere you wanted. It seems like for the vast majority of people in the comment sections of my Black Myth Wukong videos weren't a fan of that. I personally didn't really mind it. I thought it was really cool, but I hear the criticism and stuff that people had for the game. So I think for me, that's the reason why I feel like Stellar Blade would take it over Black Myth Wukong, as much as Wukong growing up was a part of like my childhood and watching Journey to the West and the different adaptations there. I just felt like I enjoyed Stellar Blade a lot more in terms of combat, music, story, and everything compared to Black Myth Wukong. And even some of the trophies too. Don't get me started. I've 100% both of these games, and I think like some of the things that was really annoying for me about Black Myth Wukong was how like it was on a timer for you to harvest some of those herbs and stuff in order to get the trophy, because then you would bring it back to the dragon. I forgot what's his name. I've recorded this multiple times, and how do I say this properly? Regardless of whoever it is that wins Game of the Year, whether it's this year, next year, or the years to come, it shouldn't matter to us at the end of the day. We're all gamers. We want to play good games, fun games, whatever it is, right? It's what you think is your personal Game of the Year. Fuck what anybody else says. You know, what did you have fun playing on and why? I would love to hear it below in the comments section too. But there's no point in us getting upset, tweeting out about it, about why you're so mad, the fact that this game, you know, X, Y, and Z shouldn't have won Game of the Year, or why it should have been nominated. You know, there's more important things in life than us being upset over some video game winning Game of the Year. But I say all that to say I wish Stellar Blade should have been up there for nominations, because damn. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you haven't already, and as always, thanks for watching and take care.